All right.
Do we need to be
We're live.
closer? Because
I think we're live, man.
I'm off.
How cool is that? I think we're live.
All right.
Hey, listen, everybody. I just want to let you know that we do a show every Sunday at 3 o'clock. We do a show on WPHT in Philadelphia, and we broadcast that show to several radio stations. And what Phil and I are going to do right now is we're going to do a mock episode of that show. We're basically going to do the exact show that we do, and you guys are invited to bring in questions. So go ahead, Phil, and introduce the show.
Good afternoon and welcome to Investor Schooling Live, coming to you from Investor Schooling headquarters. I'm Phil Falcone, here with my business partner, Larry Steinhouse. We are the founders of Investor Schooling. Get ready to learn real estate and stock option investing. Call us with your questions at 855-939-1137. That's right, we are a live program, so you can call us anytime during our show, and we will take your calls. Not like some of those recorded weekend radio shows. That's not us. Investor Schooling is located in Langhorne, Pennsylvania, serving the Philadelphia area in a real brick and mortar building. What I mean by that is not companies that come to hotels in the Philadelphia area, empty out your bank account, and then fly to another city. We don't do that kind of thing. We are real brick and mortar guys. We are Philadelphia guys located right here in the Philadelphia area. And we can teach you this business, okay? If you want to learn this business from local people who do this every day. We're here, accessible to our students 2 nights a week. Learn this business from people who do it every day. Hey, what's up, Larry?
What's happening, Phil? This is so different that we're not in front of our microphones and not in front of our cameras. It's just it's a little bit different.
How are you going to do the show without all the funny noises that you put on the?
I can't call you a mafioso shyster.
Not today. Well, you could just say it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So for you guys who aren't fans of the show, you guys got to become fans of the show. We have a lot of cool fun with the show, and and one of the things is there's an ongoing thing about some guy who called in about calling Phil a mafioso shyster. And we just love it. We have a blast with it. By the way, so Phil mentioned the phone number, right?
855-939-1137.
And if you call that phone number, right now it will ring to my cell phone. So if you actually want to call in and ask a question, we will have you live on my cell phone, and we'll be able to do that. So that's cool if you want to do that.
Yeah.
So I don't know, Phil. What do you think? What exciting stuff is going on this week?
Well, it's been a pretty incredible week. We're both having an absolutely phenomenal week.
We're having a fantastic year in a week.
Yes,
which I think is the best way to put it, right?
Yes. So, I mean, first, let's talk about what you've done this week, which is absolutely mind-blowing.
Yes,
and
agreed.
I foresee your future.
I foresee my future. That's great.
I foresee your future. What you're doing right now is no joke. It's amazing, and just watching you do it. It completely changes everything.
Yes, I agree.
Right? And I haven't spoken to you about this, but yeah, your future is changing, whether you know it or not. Yeah. So what I'm referring to is Larry created this fund. If you were on the last presentation, you may have heard a little bit about it. Don't call and ask us to be in the fund because that's not a possibility. And this fund, Larry's trading stock options group of people who are in an LLC. And these individuals are absolutely thrilled at the fact that they've joined this thing. And Larry had such a phenomenal day that if I tell you how much money actually made in one day, I'm afraid that you might not believe us.
Well, we'll have to tell him.
All right, go ahead and tell him.
So on Monday, and this is actual profit that I took, sold the stock options and took the profit. I made $193,000 in one day. I mean, that is just, I'm blown away by it too. Just the fact that it happened, and it just happened to be just great picks right in the right time and the right timing. And I got in. In fact, if you guys saw, I had a little bit of fun. I smashed my computer the other day. If you guys saw the post on Facebook, the reason I smashed my computer is my computer crashed in the middle of me trading one of these trades. And I was done. This computer has crashed on me before. In fact, it's funny. We're doing this live thing on Nick Tang's group. I went to a Nick Tang event one day with that computer, and I went to do my presentation, and the computer crashed on me before the presentation. I had to borrow somebody's computer to do the thing. So I made sure that I never had a problem with that computer before again, and I smashed it. But anyway, I made $193,000 on trades on Monday alone. And some of that was in a fund, some of it was in my personal accounts. And I'll tell you, the fund members, what an awesome day.
Could you just say that one more time again? Just I want to make sure I heard you right.
$193,000 in one day.
That's absolutely unbelievable.
Well, you have a pretty good money maker that you're doing this week. That's a wholesale deal, right?
Well, no, because I actually bought it. So by definition, it's not a wholesale deal.
Okay, gotcha, sure.
So basically, I have a deal that's now closing on Thursday, the 19th. It was supposed to close on the 9th, but, delays that happen in the real estate business. So I bought a property in Collegeville for $260,000. It was one of the most difficult deals to close. I actually had to close it 3 separate times. So I closed it, and then the seller, a woman, decided to bring in her sister-in-law, and her sister-in-law put the whole kibosh on the thing. So
when you say close it, you mean put it under contract?
I got it under contract, and the whole deal blew up.
Sure.
And they wanted me to sign a release, and I'm like, I don't even have a form for a release. I said, I'll just write you an email, and they're like, no, we want something from a lawyer. So fine, you go hire a lawyer, right? So we had this like I don't have a release handy. I've never had to write a release anyway. So it went back and forth, didn't talk to them for a couple of months. Then I got a phone call back to put some life back into the deal. And at that point, I, knowing the pain and suffering that I was going to have to go through to get this deal done, I said, I'm going to have to lower the price. So I lowered the price, and make a long story short, that deal didn't go through. And then finally, after maybe a total of 8 months had gone by working on this deal, I got the property under contract for $260,000. I knew the property was worth substantially more. I just knew it in my bones. But there was definitely a lot of question marks in my mind about it because it had a really funky layout. The woman had built an addition onto the front of the house because she didn't like the way the front of the house looked. But the addition that she built made no sense. It just was weird. You walked into a front door, and there's another wall right in front of you, and then you had to turn right and left, and it was just weird. And I was pretty worried that no buyer would want it. I decided to put the house up on the MLS and just try to flat out sell it, see what I could get for it. Collegeville has many houses between the ranges of $500,000 and $800,000. Most of them have lots of property. This property is 2.5 acres. It's got an 8-car garage in a brand new building that I think they spent over $50,000 to build. Make a long story short, I have it under contract to sell for $410,000 on Thursday. Keep in mind, I bought this thing for $260,000. I worked there at this moment. Maybe I've got 40 hours into it. Maybe I just to get the UNO done and everything else, because I never got the seller to do the UNO, because even the very day of settlement, I wasn't sure she was going to show up. So I never even asked her. I thought she wasn't going to show up, actually.
Funny, huh?
And then when she called me at the last minute and said, I'll show up, I'm scrambling to get the money. Bought it for cash. I got $272,000 into it. Selling it for $410,000. I mean, the spread's roughly about $145,000.
Sure.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. I'll tell you what.
For not even fixing it.
So we're both having a really great November, aren't we?
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
I think we should take some of that money and go out and buy something pretty big.
So I'd love to. Here's one of the problems I'm having, right? So I've discovered that this year, not only have I made more money than I've ever made in my entire life this year, which is fantastic, but I also have no place to spend it. This is the craziest thing. I can't go on cruises. I can't go to Atlantic City. I can't go on vacations. I can't go anywhere. So not only am I making more money, but I'm putting more money away. It's like I got these chunks of money. I don't even know what to do with it anymore.
I think maybe I'll be able to help you with that problem in the short term.
All right. What are we going to do? Play poker at your house?
No, we're going to discuss some real estate deals.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
We're going to start getting really serious about what we're doing with our time.
Absolutely.
One thing that keeps ticking in life is your time, right? And you have to figure out what you want to be, who you want to be, what you want to own, where you want to live. All these things come into play. I've been thinking more and more about them all the time. And I feel like my destiny is now visible to me.
Bigger, much bigger. Yes, exactly. And we've been talking about that for a while. We've been talking about how your vision has to be huge. I mean, they always say, shoot for the stars. You might reach the moon. Screw the stars. Screw the moon. I'm shooting for the universe.
The universe.
The universe.
All right. So we're both kicking butt, but we still have to get up every day and make these businesses that we own run. We have to make our houses pay their rent.
Sure.
We have to fix things. We have to run the whole operation. And so tell me, where do you see yourself now that I've predicted that your future is going to change?
Well,
Would you want to verbalize that now?
Well, so it's interesting. So one of the things I had on my vision board, I don't want to call it a vision board. Actually, it's actually a whiteboard that I write down my goals. One of the goals that I had was to trade $1 million in the stock market. Be able to trade $1 million in the stock market.
I think you already hit that mark then.
Well, making $1 million, I've made more than $1 million. I've made several. I've probably made $1.5 million to $2 million in the stock market over the last, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about having an account that starts with $1 million and trading that in a fund, just like we're doing with the fund now. Now, the fund we have now is less than $1 million. It's actually only $400,000. But the next time I'm going to start, the minimum is going to be $1 million and go up from there. And I'm going to trade that. So that's one of my goals, is to trade $1 million fund. And I see that easily happening, especially after the success with this fund.
Absolutely. I agree with you. When I'd say I see your future, I mean, that's what you should be doing.
Absolutely.
You should go out and create multiple funds
and
manage them for people and use your talents, your incredible talent to do it.
Well, thanks.
And, my wife says to me, can you do that? And I said, well, look, I've been studying stock options for 2.5 years now. I'm totally into it. I actually am upset that today is Saturday.
Yeah, I know.
Right. Because I'm like, I used to be like, great, the weekend. Now I'm like, shit. Like, there's no stock market today. I got to wait like 48 hours before I can make any trades.
So it's funny. Yeah, you open up the Monday morning at 6 o'clock, you wake up and you open up your app and you try to see what the futures are, Of
course. And there's all kinds of information being put out there by all these different people. You get little bits and pieces of it, and you try to put together a picture of how you see your week going to go. But look, I couldn't be any more thrilled. I mean, one of the most amazing things that happens at this school. Look, you don't want to come to the school, fine. But it's a place you can come for free and have a couple of classes with us and learn about what we're doing here. You sit in one of these meetings. This guy's making $10,000. This guy's making $15,000. This lady made $7,000 on her first trade. I'll promise you one thing. I hope you're listening out there. You come to the school, it will not take you more than 2 meetings to realize we are making real money here.
Yep. Real
estate deals, stock option deals. Almost the whole school is making money. The only people who really aren't are the newbies who, what we teach here, it takes a little while to wrap your head around it. It takes you 3 months to 6 months. Most people get it in 3. Some people need a little bit longer. It's something you have to see. There's nothing like this place. So get your butt to investor schooling.
Yeah, and take a look at our new television commercials too. They're kind of cool. We're actually going live on television. We have billboards now. We have television. We're on the radio. We do the radio show every Sunday. I mean, this is just great stuff. And by the way, what's the phone number to call in?
855-939-1137.
So you can call in right now. Actually, it'll come to my cell phone. 855-939-1137. Yeah. Give us a call right now, and you'll be on live if you have any questions. Or if you have any questions in the chat box, you can do that as well. And again, we're here. This is what we do. What's the next topic?
Well, what I'm doing right now is I took a little trip to Florida last week.
Yes, you did. We missed you.
Right. And I'm definitely going to be making some more aggressive moves in the commercial arena of Florida real estate. Part of the reason is because the state is kicking ass, just like we are.
Really?
And Florida is just killing it. There's 1,000 people a day moving to Florida right now. Okay. Now, you could almost predict that if you think about it for a second, because look, the very first year of baby boomers were born in 1946. So if you were born in 1946, right now, you're 73, 74 years old, depending on when you were born, right? A lot of people work into their 70s today. A lot of people have much more vibrant lives, okay? So a guy at 74 may be just buying his first house in Florida and getting ready to retire down there. But he's also bringing with him a lifetime of money that he's earned. So the place is just, money's pouring out of every orifice everywhere you go. If you're looking for money in Florida, Florida is a piece of cake to raise money. And let me tell you something else about it. The people that I know in Florida who lend money, they won't lend it to anybody who's investing outside the state.
Oh, that's interesting.
Right, because they want to be able to keep an eye on it. They want to be able to see it. They want to be able to evaluate it. Look, I live on the west coast of Florida in Sarasota. I can pretty much drive to the top of the state or the bottom of the state, or drive. I can be in Miami in 3 hours. I can be in Orlando in 3 hours. The top of the state's maybe 4 hours, but who the heck wants to go to the top of the state? There's nothing up there anyway. Right?
Now, I heard in Florida, there's no more masks. Is that true?
Yeah, man. You can walk into. I don't know if I told you the story. So when I was in Florida last week, I'm a basketball player. I've been playing basketball almost 6 or 7 days a week for 22 years. Right. All of a sudden, when COVID came in, I couldn't play anymore. Right. So I'm in Florida and I go to the LA Fitness. And last time I was at the LA Fitness in Florida, they put a bunch of elliptical machines inside the basketball court. Anyway, I walked in the door and I'm like, oh, my God, the basketball court's open. So I go in there and there's one guy. I just immediately went over, grabbed the ball, started shooting with him, started playing him one-on-one. A couple of the guys came in. And I played basketball for the first time in like 8 months. I mean, it was like losing your virginity. I felt so damn good. Okay. And but what was really fun about it was I hadn't played basketball for like 8 months. All of a sudden, my shot was there instantly. It was like the reflexes never left. That was interesting to me because I was wondering about that. Like, hell, can I even play anymore? Right. And everything just came back like instantaneously. I was balling like crazy. I had so much fun.
But again, the restaurants, no masks, right?
The restaurants, some of them will want you to wear the mask just to get in. I mean, for the most part, no, you don't need them in Florida.
Right. I'm moving
the
to
schools
Florida.
are open. Yeah. The schools are open. The
yep.
kids are going to real school, not some stupid Zoom class. Okay. You can go into restaurants. You're allowed to sit at the bar. All right. It's totally different.
Yeah. It's awesome. Right.
I mean, most of the time I was there, I was carrying around a mask, but I really wasn't using it anywhere.
That's right.
Right. So
yeah,
it's
so
much
that'd
better.
be a good place to go to. Eventually, it's going to happen in the rest of the world.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like they're going backwards again.
It does seem like
insanity. It really is. Makes you want.
That's a stock market play. The fact that they're considering going back is a stock market play, and I'm seeing an overbought market right now. And I actually think it's a put market right now. Where
I actually bought a put late Friday afternoon with 5 minutes left.
What'd you buy?
It was one of the ones you recommended on Thursday night.
Spy
no, I didn't buy the Spy. It was
Starbucks, Spy. What was the other one?
BAC, I think.
Oh, was it a put? BAC?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't remember. Okay, sure.
Yeah, if you remember the chart, it was
looking at the
massive peak,
yes,
and then a massive peak.
Yeah, right. Sure.
Right. So I bought it like figuring if it's going to change, good time to buy was Friday afternoon and have it in place already, ready to go. Right.
Yeah, I also texted out the other day, the stock option consultant texted out Starbucks.
Yes,
so
I saw that.
Starbucks was at a it hit an all-time high a couple of days ago, but it was actually sitting there, and I can actually see the chart starting to move down. But it's a quick play. It's 95 to 89, and you're out. And you can make a couple of bucks on that really fast.
Yeah, I kind of, first of all, I had just done a call on Starbucks.
That's nice.
Right, and wrote it up just a little bit. I made like $350 or something. I sold it probably Friday morning. I think I sold it. No, maybe it was Thursday. I sold it. And when I saw your put, I just thought the spread seemed a little tight.
Okay,
that's
fine.
95 to 89. Wasn't a lot of room there.
Yeah. So what I'm also noticing, and one of the things that I'm going to have to start teaching, is I'm noticing that when we do a call, we're making somewhere between 28 and 35% on average. Right? Sometimes we kill it. We make 100%. Right. That's rare. Sometimes we kill it, make it 50 or 60%. Again, that's rare. But I've also noticed that on the puts, that we're making an average of 15 to 20% on the puts. So we have to get out faster. So it has to be a smaller number, and that's
they're scarier. They're harder to wrap your head around, and even looking at the cost of the options. When I bought my put on Friday afternoon, I bought one in the money, right? I bought it. It was at the money. It was the first one in white, but it's confusing. It's still confusing to me even after 2.5 years. But let me ask you a question about what you did on Monday, because really what you did was freaking amazing and phenomenal. And what would you advise? So I was totally out of the market on that Monday. Mm-hmm. So you wake up in the morning and you see the market's up 1,700 points.
Yeah, it was 15, but okay.
Right. Well, It was 17 by the time the market opened.
Okay.
Yeah.
I must have. I was so busy selling, I didn't even notice it. Okay.
So when the market opened, it was 1700.
Right.
When the market closed that day, it was 850.
Yeah.
Right. So of course, like my wife saw that and said, "Oh, well, you better get all of our money in now." And I'm like, I don't know that works that way.
No,
right?
it doesn't work that way. That's
right.
That's
so I reserved. I pulled myself back and said, as much as I'd love to have all my money in there right now, I would have benefited from the ride. But because I didn't have any in there, I thought, no, I can't just jump in with it. So I sat on the sidelines. That was painful for me. But by the end of the day, when I saw that it had gone from 1700 to 850, I thought, well, maybe I made the right move.
You did make the right move.
Okay.
And
but it didn't make me feel any better when I found out you made $193,000. Right?
Look, I totally got lucky, and let me explain what I mean by
because you were already in.
Right, but I was in, but understand that, like, I was in certain plays. I was in all. The only thing I had left were travel industry plays, and that's what happened.
And that's what happened.
So
they
I had
benefited.
CCL, RCL. I had
how much
BA,
of a percentage of your portfolio were you already in there with?
About half.
About half.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Geez, if you would have had 100% in, you would
have been nice, right?
What a day. Huh?
Right. I mean, it was an incredible day as it was. Right. Exactly. I mean, so I almost on the plays, I almost made 100% on the plays.
So you almost made 100% on the plays that were in.
Right. Right.
So you theoretically could have made $400,000 that day.
Theoretically,
if all the money was in.
Theoretically, yeah.
That's nuts, man.
Right.
Just nuts.
But here's what happens. So we teach people to have an in price and an out price. So let's say, and I'll give you a perfect example. RCL, which was the one I did the most on, made the most money in that trade. I made $57,000 in just a week. But it just happened to be that it worked out this way, and this is what it would have been. So when it went below 60, I bought calls, saying that I was going to ride it to 70. And that was the play. And it was a perfect play. For me, I got so, and by the way, that would have made me, if it happened really fast, it probably would have made me 40%. If it happened, happened over time, normal time, maybe would have made me 20 to 30%, which is typical.
Mm-hmm.
But it opened up at 77. So because it opened up at 77,
you were already
I was way past my out price. All I did was click sell, and boom.
So
I didn't even look to see how much money I made.
You were up the minute the market opened.
I was,
So tell me again. I interrupted you. Tell me the stocks you were in.
So it was RCL, CCL, BA, and AAL was another one. AAL, boy, did that take off that day. And I believe those were the four that I was in that made all the money. And I think I was also in JNUG. But I don't remember.
Right. So, I wanted to ask you about what I did because it was hard for me to sit back and not do it. But I just felt like, I watched it. You could see it immediately. Like by 10:30, it was already declining, and I thought, well, if that pattern continues, I can't get in. So I just stayed out of it.
Absolutely, you did exactly.
Boy, that was tough. It was tough.
Yeah, you're like, oh man, I missed it. But you miss it. You're gonna miss.
Okay.
I miss deals. I miss stuff all the time. I miss stuff that I want to get into, and I miss it.
So
I mean, there was a play the other day. I can't remember. I think it was GE that it took off, or AA that it took off, and I was like, wow, that was an amazing play. That I called it. I knew exactly what was going to happen, but I just didn't get in.
So let me ask you something. So I keep thinking about the fact that when a stock is heading into earnings, you have the greatest chance of success of any other time.
Yes.
Wouldn't it behoove me, you, the school, all of us listening to this, to find some blue chip, killer, powerful stocks like a Facebook, like an Apple? Unfortunately, they have earnings on the same damn day.
Yeah, which
right. But if they were spread out more, if you could get the options, or at least find an option that every month there's some option heading into earnings that's a killer, powerful stock, right? You put the bulk of your money in that and rode it up, came out, did it again, came out, did it again. It's almost like jumping the line at Great Adventure. You don't have to wait for nothing. Just go ride the roller coaster,
right, sure.
and get off, right? Without waiting in line for it. That's something I keep thinking about. I'm going to start looking for key stocks that I believe in, companies that I believe in, and track their earnings. And if I could have one or two a month, is there a month where they never have earnings?
No, well, well, no, but there's a clump of time that they have earnings, like a clump that most of they call it earnings season. So most of the stocks have earnings in the same season, same time.
Is that
most of them?
Is that time from a month and a half?
It's every 3 months.
Yeah, I know it comes every 3 months,
Right.
but it's spread out
Oh,
over
it's spread out about a month. Yeah,
spread out over about a month.
Yeah,
So you can't have a earnings play every single month. You can
but
only
they're very
have
few.
earnings
They're very
plays. You could start a month before that month. So if there's a month of spread, you could start maybe a month before it, buying, say, a stock. If some of the first stocks, okay, you could ride those up and then redeploy your money into things like Facebook and Google that are closing more towards the end of earnings season.
Yeah, you can. And so one philosophy, and I think you've said this before, is at the end of earnings season, you put everything into cash and you wait till about 45 days before earnings, which we call the dead zone, and then you start riding it up. Now, that's certainly a great play. I like it. But I like to make the moves, minor moves in between, because there's going to be minor moves in between, and I like to play those minor moves. In fact, if I didn't have that thought, I could not have made that 193,000 that day. I mean, again, lucky play, but at the same time, maybe it wouldn't have been 193,000. Maybe it would have been 50 or 60,000 in a normal play.
Mm-hmm.
But that's 50 or 60,000 that I would have gotten that you didn't get.
But even if I say and I have said to you that I want to buy at the dead zone and ride it up to earnings,
Sure.
or slightly after the dead zone, waiting 45 days a little long. Sometimes I think,
Sure.
Maybe a month is a good number, but somewhere in that range, right? So, but that doesn't mean that I don't want to play the ups and downs too. I like pulling my money off the table and taking the profit.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I like doing that.
Yes.
That's a solid thing. And a lot of times when it's going up, you're getting these gyrations where I like to take the money sometimes. I just say, hell with it, I'm taking it.
Sure.
Right?
Absolutely.
It makes me feel better. It makes me feel like I'm accomplishing something, builds my confidence as I go on and on.
Yep.
That I can consistently, I did it again on Friday. So I made not a tremendous amount of money, but I made more money again on Friday. Closed out my whole account by like 4:30. I'm sorry, by 3:30. And then the last half an hour I took to just go back and look at the charts of 3 picks that you had made on Thursday night. That's something for those of you who are listening. You might not know what we're talking about with stock options. Come to investor school, because the stock option sultan will be here to give you the picks. And the more and more you learn about it, and when you're sitting around 14 other people that all made over $10,000 last week, you're going to really get to see what goes on here. It's really amazing. You want to be here for this. But
so it's funny. We have one student. I was going to give his initials. CC is his initials. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And the guy, I've never seen this guy smile ever. I mean, I've never seen him smile. He comes in. He's got that stoic face, and he walked in Monday, and he looked like he was skipping in with a big smile. Yeah, man. And I'm like, what'd you make? And he goes, he didn't want to tell me. I had to guess. I said, let me guess. You made between 15 and 20,000, didn't you? And he goes, yeah.
Well, what I did in the last half an hour Friday is I went some of the picks that we were looking at. I bought Beyond Meat.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I like that play. I like the way that chart.
Well, that was a call, wasn't it?
That was a call.
Yeah, it was a call. Yeah, sure.
Right. And I did I bought some JNUG, and I did a put on Bank of America.
Oh, okay.
Just a couple plays, not a ton of money.
All right. Yeah, let's see how that works out.
Yeah, we'll see.
JNUG is a play. It's a scary play.
I know.
Every time I play it, I get nervous because it does its own thing. But I'll tell you something else. And there's a covered call strategy that's fantastic. If you guys have for example, let's say you have $100,000 in the stock market, not stock options, and you want a really safe investment, really like you can't lose any money on it investment. If you have a stock and you sell the covered calls, you can make money. So I was practicing with a strategy using JNUG, and I've discovered that I can make just on, like if I took $100,000, bought JNUG stock, and sold the covered calls, I can make 6 to 8% a week just doing that with no risk. So that's kind of cool too. So if you're into stock options, or if you want to be into stock options, you can definitely do that too. So that's kind of fun too. So we're actually, it's kind of funny. We're on a real estate Expo, and we're talking about stock options.
Well, let's talk about some real
But
estate.
everybody here needs to understand that we're entrepreneurs. We make money. We just make money. You give me something that's going to make money, and you prove it to me that's going to make money, and I can understand it. I'm going to make money. And if you guys are real estate investors, and you have $5,000 lying around that you don't know what to do with, or $5,000 around that you want to turn into $10,000 or more, you should start investing in stock options. And again, we'll teach you how to do that. And by the way, the classes are also virtual. So if you go to investorschooling.com and you click when you click to register, it'll ask you if you want to attend virtual. You can do that too. We have students in California, we have students in Florida, we have students in Boston, we have students all over the place. Did you know that we're now the largest school that teaches this stuff in the Northeast?
Congratulations.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
I love it.
How did you get that statistic?
How did we get that statistic? You ready?
I was just about to say, where the heck is our coffee?
Where's our? So come here, Fred. You got to bring us our coffee. So you guys know, Fred, you don't have a microphone.
What's going on, everybody?
So you don't have a microphone, but you can say hello to everybody. So Fred's bringing us our coffee because that's what Fred does. He brings us coffee. And by the way, Fred, you've got a presentation today, don't you?
I do.
So he said he does because he's not mic'd. And what time is your presentation?
Yeah, just
today?
hold off on that. We're not going to be. Yeah.
He's on at 2:30 now. Fred,
Thank you.
why don't you grab a microphone real quick and then come over here. So Fred is one of these amazing people. And if you don't know Fred, you need to know Fred. Fred is one of those people who, when Phil looks at me and says, I know where you're going to be in a few years, I know where Fred's going to be in a few years. And I'm telling you, my guess, he's going to be richer than Phil and I. And that is my thought. So
What's going on, everybody?
So there you go. The MC. Look at that jacket, man. I like that.
Yeah, you're looking sharp today.
Really? Show the inside of that jacket. I don't know if anybody can see it.
The inside of this jacket has my logo on there, and it says "Make money and have fun."
Right. So that's your thing, right?
That is my thing.
Right. So you have a show. So tell us all about you, man. Why would
Sure.
Tell us all about
So
you.
what do I got going on, man? I got a little bit of everything going on. So
We just wanted a time to drink
right.
our coffee,
While
that's all.
Phil and Larry are enjoying their coffee, which I purchased for them.
Yeah, just understand that when you have a really good business, you take a protege and they bring you coffee.
Exactly. So that's going to be a tax write-off for this year, if you guys weren't paying attention. So what I do is I teach entrepreneurs and investors how to make more money and how to have more fun, because I believe that if we can create alignment between both the thing that we're passionate about and something that makes us money, then at that point we have achieved success. And one of the reasons why I love hanging out with Larry and Phil is because they bridge that gap so perfectly. And I think that is really why most of you are here today. It's not just to chase the money, but it's really to do something that allows you to live the lifestyle that you want to live. And the really cool thing about real estate is this. Real estate allows you to actually do something that can create income. So then if you wanted to, you can actually go and do something else that you really like. So if real estate isn't your thing, don't worry about it, because you can create passive income, and then that gives you all the time freedom you want to go and do the thing that you're passionate about.
Very cool.
So I actually wanted to give you something.
Me?
Yes.
You got me a gift?
Oh, well, not exactly.
Okay.
I don't know if you've read the book Addicted to Real Estate. Have you read it?
Parts of it.
Okay. Well, if you read it cover to cover, you would know about this thing I'm about to give you.
Okay.
Okay. Fred's a young guy. How old are you now?
I'm 25 years old.
He's 25 years old, but his knowledge level and his maturity level are way beyond that. And I see an extremely bright future for this young man. So I have decided today on this live cast to award Fred the coveted Phil Falcone seal of approval.
Ooh, sounds
that's pretty good.
expensive.
It's not expensive.
Okay.
Okay, so if you read the book Addicted to Real Estate, there's a chapter dedicated in the back of the book to people who have given the Phil Falcone seal of approval.
Nice.
I don't think Larry has one yet.
No, you have not given me one. Thanks a lot.
But
I told you he's going to be more successful than us.
You're going to have to wait until I'm currently writing another book, so I will.
Me too.
It will be.
Me too.
Me too.
We're all writing books.
Look at that.
Yeah, how fascinating.
It's a book trio.
The difference is my book weighs like 6 times any book you guys have written.
It's a combination of your first two books.
Right.
700 pages.
So in other words, his book weighs more, so you could use it as a paperweight better than you can use our books.
So I have a question. Because I received the Phil Falcone seal of approval.
Coveted seal.
Coveted seal of approval. Does that mean I get to sit on your side of the table during the staff meetings?
No.
Okay.
No.
Almost. It was worth a shot.
The staff meeting is divided up under other factors. The Phil Falcone coveted seal of approval is merely a way of giving you some due respect.
All right, so
Sweet.
maybe we should talk about real estate since we're on a real estate expo.
All right,
I'll get out of here.
Because we kind of like didn't do that, did we?
let's talk about a little real estate.
All right, let's do that.
So we're both wholesalers. We both have had very successful wholesale businesses.
And we're both done with it, aren't we?
Yes. Well,
Isn't that odd?
I'm done with it, but I'm not necessarily done with wholesaling. Wholesaling to me is just another tool
Right,
in the
exactly,
toolbox.
Sure.
So I imagine I will never be done with it.
Right.
I'm done with going around buying row homes, arguing with people in Philadelphia about their row homes. I think I'm done with that part.
Yeah, sure.
I did it for the last 2 years, made a bunch of money, had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think together we made about $1.5 million together, right?
I did very well.
Yeah. I mean, if we take all our wholesale fees and add it up for the last 2 years, we made well over $1.5 million together. I mean, together separately because we had separate businesses. But if you add it up, we made in wholesale fees well over $1.5 million. And we're kind of done. We're kind of like, it's kind of like a low priority now.
Well, the strategy is a strategy. So let me just tell you, I'm still doing real estate deals all over the place. So you remember this Subject 2 deal that I did in
Sure.
East Norriton,
Sure.
right? So I put it up for rent and I put it up for sale at the same time. I put it up for sale for $299,000. I put it up for rent for $2,400. Everyone called me, complained that the rent was too high, and I'm like, no, well, I don't care. And they were saying, well, no one pays that kind of rent around here. I said, frankly, I don't care. If I can't get the number I want, then I'll just sell it.
Right.
So I have options. I don't care what your market rent is in the neighborhood. Finally, some guy comes around with 4 German Shepherds who wants to rent the house. He's moving from California or something to get a job working for this fence company, and it's like it's the same fence company he works for over there, a national fence company, and he has 4 German Shepherds, right? So I'm like, well, okay, just add $200 a month to the rent, $2,600 now. If I had rented to this guy, the mortgage payments are $1,814 a month, right? So I mean, I'm making like $850 a month off of the guy in cash flow. So I was willing to do it until I saw his credit report. His credit report came in. It was like 440 credit score. I said, forget it. This guy never pays it. He doesn't pay his own mother.
Yeah.
Right. So he's certainly not going to.
Yeah. And his 4 dogs going to trash the
He
house.
borrowed money off of his mom and stiffed her. So
Oh, boy.
I told the realtor, I said, don't call me again. And I advise you to drop this client immediately. Anyway, very next day, I get an email from someone says they want to buy the house. They haven't sent me a contract yet. I expect to see it today. And they said, we need to settle by December 18th. So I don't know if they have a 1031 exchange going on.
Well, maybe they need to move.
Maybe it could just be that.
Too.
Right. So it could be that I got a desperate person and I'm just going to make them pay the $299. I don't care.
There you go.
All right. I don't need the money right now. Just
Exactly.
closing the most profitable deal of my life.
That's right.
In the other one,
That's right.
I'm going to have like 145 grand. I'm cool for a while.
And by the way, look, when you change your money mindset, money becomes nothing, right? So money becomes nothing. It's easy.
It becomes less important. You're in control. When you have a bunch of it, you can make risky decisions with the rest of it if you want to, because it behooves you to do so because you got what you need.
So I think we're getting a signal. Are we out of time? We got about 2 minutes. All right. Yeah, I'm doing subject 2. By the way, if you're tuning into this show and Phil just mentioned subject 2, I'm going to be doing my famous subject 2 presentation. It's my signature presentation on subject 2, my favorite way to buy houses. I'm also telling you that I'm closing in 2 subject 2 deals first week of December, that they're free houses. Matter of fact, one I'm actually going to walk away with 20 grand in my pocket. I'll explain that later on too. So I get houses for free all the time. Plus I put money in my pocket. So do you have anything that you want to tell the audience before we go? We got about a minute.
I just want to tell everybody that if you're interested in real estate, you obviously are if you're at this Nick Tang, one of his wonderful seminars. And I would advise you to continue to go to his seminars because
we're there often. No.
Because it's great stuff. He brings in the right people. He's got
He's
got the best of the best of the best of the Philadelphia area. Also, come to investor schooling. Learn about some of the things that we're doing here. We're doing cutting-edge real estate deals. We're doing commercial real estate deals like they're a row home in Philly. We're just doing bigger deals. That's all. And
Exactly.
and that's if that's the place that you want to be, and a lot of people want to be there eventually. this is a place you can learn how to do it and have come here, and you can actually sit right next to us and talk to us about your problems with your particular real estate deals. Where else can you do that on a regular basis?
And not have to wear a mask. Oh, did I say that out loud?
Yeah.
So go to investorschooling.com. Sign up for this Thursday night. I got to go prepare for my subject 2. It'll take a couple of minutes. Thank you, Nick. Are you there? You want to say? Can we say goodbye to you personally? And thank you. I guess we just did, right? He's what?
It's a lunch break.
He's eating his lunch. You're eating your lunch?
We're
Really?
talking. We're talking during the lunch break.
All right, we're talking during the lunch break. And when is my subject 2 presentation? Right now. So we go right into it, or do I have to do? Is it another link? I think it's another link, right? Okay, cool. All right, you got to bring up my presentation. You're gonna have to change the camera angle too. Right into it, or do I have to do it another way? All right. Okay.